When it comes down to mental health in the African American community, many brothers and sisters are in denial about the issues regarding mental health. And their idea of a constructive solution for mental health are to either go to a church with white Jesus and a black pastor, or to self medicate through watching a television show like The Oprah Winfrey Show, or one of the spin offs such as Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, or one minute or any of the other ones out there. And these are not constructive ways to deal with mental health issues. Again, you really need an objective outside source to deal with mental health issues. This is something that you cannot do on your own. You really need the help and support of others in dealing with people who have a mental illness. And one of the big problems in the African American community is that African Americans often stigmatize mental illness as a negative thing. And this is not the case at all. When it comes down to mental health, we are talking about a broad perspective issue, and this is a very big thing. And mental health deals with the issues of helping somebody achieve a high quality of life and maintaining and creating a life paradigm that allows them to actualize their potential. And mental health is not just dealing with people with severe mental illnesses like schizophrenia, it is also dealing with people who are participating in behaviors that are preventing them from moving their lives forward. And an example of mental health would be something like dealing with someone who has so called nice guy syndrome, or as we call it in the inner city, a simp. And that's part of mental health as well, because this person's life paradigm is preventing them from actualizing their potential. And the only way for them to break out of that behavior is to go and find either a licensed psychotherapist or be a part of a men's group which has a licensed psychotherapist as a part of it, so that they can learn what they're doing wrong and how it is preventing them from achieving the goals that they want in life. And that's part of mental health right there. And a lot of people won't think it, but it is. And it's about helping that person understand that the decisions that they're making are preventing them from having the life that they want to live and actualizing their potential. And that's part of mental health and part of helping a person move their life forward. And that's the big problem in the African American community. There's so much of a stigma on mental health because a lot of people do not understand what it encompasses, that they don't want to address the issues. They'd rather just say, he's the crazy guy over there, not understanding that they themselves have issues that need to be worked on. Because in many African American homes, a lot of people are growing up in codependent environments, especially when they live in places like single mother households. In the single mother household, the especially the male, the boys learn that females are the leaders and authority figures, and that females have all the power. Again, this is a codependent relationship. And this type of relationship, you have to learn how to break this life paradigm, because, again, this is how a male learns how to be a simp. And a simp, again, is a dysfunctional life paradigm which prevents a man from actualizing his potential. And you really need to deal with a psychotherapist to understand the mistakes that you're making and how these behaviors are ingrained. And that's a big part of mental health, is that people get to the source of what is causing them to behave a certain way, because that's what the psychotherapist is going to help you work with, or the psychologist is going to help you work with, so that you can understand that why you are going in this direction, why you are doing what you're doing, and why this is not working. Because that's what a psychotherapist is there for. That's what a psychiatrist is there for. They're there to help you understand that these ideas and behaviors that you have are working against you, not helping you achieve what you want to achieve. Because that's a big part of it. That's the part of mental health that many African Americans don't know about. That's the part that they don't understand. And they'll sit there and tell you that, you know, Uncle Joe over there is crazy because he's acting that he acts out. But you have to get to the roots of why that person is acting out. You have to get to the roots of why that person is behaving that way. And that person could probably function if they found specialists to help them deal with the root cause of their issues. Because if we get to the root cause of that issue that is causing that person to act that way, that person can move their life forward. Unfortunately, many African Americans suffer in silence because there is such a stigma on mental health and mental illness, and they don't want to deal with it because they don't understand it. And their idea of a solution for dealing with mental illness and mental health is to do one of either two things. Again, going to the church with white Jesus, and that solution may help on a spiritual level, but it doesn't help us get to the really root of the problem. Your pastor is not a licensed psychotherapist. They are not a licensed. They do not understand mental illness. They do not know how to diagnose mental illness. They do not know how to deal with mental illness, and they do not understand how to form a professional relationship that helps you get to the root cause of the issue. They don't understand how to do these things. Your pastor is well versed in the Bible, but they are not well versed in mental health medicine. A doctor, a psychotherapist, and a psychiatrist, they are well versed in mental health medicine, and they can understand, where these issues are, if this person needs medication, or if this person needs group therapy or individual therapy, and they can diagnose the issue and work with it in a way that helps that person move forward. The pastor, in many cases, all he knows is the Bible, so he's just going to tell you what he knows. He's not going to tell you what is going to help you move forward. Now, your other solution that many African Americans have is to go to one of these television shows, like your Oprah Winfrey Show or your Dr. Phil, and look for a solution over there. Again, that doesn't really help because they are talking in broad general terms, and a specialist can talk to you in specific terms to your issue. They can sit down with you and deal with your issue, and if they have to, they can prescribe medicine that will help you deal with your issue. And this is something that most African Americans don't want to deal with. They think, oh, the guy's taking the medicine, there's something wrong with him. It's not the case at all. The medicine is going to help a person who has those mental health issues deal with those issues and be able to move themselves forward, and they will eventually probably be better as a result of it. But in the African American community, again, the whole solution that African Americans have for mental health is to stick their heads in the sand and then watch as their family members suffer in silence. And oftentimes, their idea of a final solution is to sadly just sit there again and watch the family member or the friend suffer in silence until something tragic happens, such as them committing a crime or them winding up being shot and killed by the police. And all this could have been prevented if they would just admit the problem. Unfortunately, many African Americans just don't want to admit that there's a problem, because oftentimes there's been a problem for years, but they just, again, think it's something that's the way that person is, not understanding that this could have been helped, this could have been resolved, and all it took was just admitting that there was a problem. And that's a big part of mental health, is that people admit that they have a problem, and once they admit they have a problem, they can start working towards the solution that helps them move their life forward, because mental health is something that really needs to be discussed more in the African American community, needs to be more dealt with in the African American community, and more people need to start seeing people like psychiatrists and psychotherapists in order to deal with the issues that are preventing them from being the best people they can be. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.